Hey friends, this is Scott. I'm going to do another video just for the sitting arrangement because it is awfully windy today. But I want to talk about chickens, and I want to talk about kind of a fun story. At least it was a nice story for me. Starting out with a little bit of tragedy, but then ended up becoming kind of a nice week at the end of the week. So I'm going to show you some video, but I'm just going to kind of describe what happened. Okay, as I come down from my last trip from Salt Lake City, and I went to the coop to check on my 3 remaining chickens. You know, they're all 5 to 6 years old. And I opened the coop door, and what do I find? I find a dead chicken. So now I'm down to 2 chickens. I've got no eggs, and you know, they eat the bugs, and I let them out in the yard, and they have a good time, but I need some eggs, and I don't have a plan for my chickens. I'm not around a lot to be raising chicks. It's time to buy pullets, so I could be doing that, but then there's the problem of raising pullets with adult birds. So it's, you know, this pecking order is definitely a real thing. So it was kind of funny one day. I'd worked a late night shift, and I come back, and I was taking a snooze, and the doorbell rings, and I don't normally answer the door for telemarketers, even down here in the small town. Or not telemarketers, but door-to-door salespeople. And yeah, I didn't, I finally got out of bed, and I went and looked outside, and there was a pet carrier sitting under some lilac trees in the front yard, and what was inside the pet carrier? There was 4 hens. So somebody it would do me a solid that knew that I needed hens. And I figured I knew who it was, but I wasn't positive. Well, I confirmed it. It was a gentleman named Niels, who's from my same town that I met at a local establishment on karaoke night. And we talked chickens, and he'd had lots of chickens, but you know, out of the goodness of his heart, he came and dropped me off some chickens. So it was really nice of him. So, whoops, as the cat hits my tripod. So it's nice. So thanks, Niels. I appreciate it. That was that act of kindness made my day. And yeah. But also, because I got the new chickens, I decided I needed to get some redundancy in water. And if you remember last year, my cousin Kirk from Wyoming came and brought me a kind of one of those endless waterers where you hook to the hose, has a float valve in there, and you can just hook it up to some cups and just turn your hose on, leave it on when you're gone out of town, and you can be gone indefinitely. Obviously, the food's another issue. But it's nice to know that I have some redundancy in water. And yeah, and so I've got plenty of water. I'm not going to worry about these chickens ever running out of water. I'm going to show you multiple systems that I have still that's got, you know, way overkill on water. But had a little bit of a problem with my cousin's new invention. I don't know if it's an invention he'd come up with it or he just got it off the internet. I don't know. But yeah, we have one little faux pas I got to fix on that, get another piece of material that I need to get, and then we'll get that fully running. But I'll show you the ins and outs of that. So in any event, I'm going to show you some new chickens. I'm going to show you the new water. And yeah, we're going to show you how I set that up and how the theory works great. So yeah, if you want to be able to go out of town once in a while and not worry about your chickens in the hot winter months running out of water, this is the video for you. So stay tuned. Let's see what happened. So like I was mentioning, I came back from Salt Lake, and there's one of my barn builders. Again, this is probably a 5.5 to 6.5 year old bird. And yeah, just dropped dead in the coop, and no signs of foul play. I guess it was time. I'm not sure what happened to that bird, but yeah, I had that bird a long time. So now I'm down to 2 chickens. Well, like I was mentioning, my friend Niels stopped by and dropped this pet carrier off, and everybody was interested, including the new cows and the old cows. And you see some cats hanging around too. Everybody's kind of wondering what's in this pet carrier. And there we go. We got 4 new hens. Not sure the breeds necessarily. I know one's a Rhode Island Red, and then the other ones I'm not positive about. But yeah, you notice the one's got white ears, and that is a white egg layer. So that's kind of if anybody ever wonders how you can tell what a white egg layer is check the ears, because that'll tell the tale. So again, there's the one Rhode Island Red there, second from the right, and then the others, I'm not sure exactly what they are, if they're just a production red or what they are. But yeah, the one that has some Spanish blood in, I think, with the white ears, but I'm not sure. There's a little bit closer look. The sun's in a bad spot, but yeah, I can't tell the age of them. They look pretty young, but I think I found out a little bit later that they are a little older. They might be a couple-year-old birds. I'm not sure, but yep. So they got settled into the new coop, and I figured, you know what? I better get that water hooked up. My cousin brought down last year. I still hadn't got to it yet because I hadn't had any new chickens. And that's a 12-gallon water there you see on the left. So, yeah, there's plenty of water there. But if one of those nipples in the bottom breaks, then that could drain that whole water system. So redundancy of water is definitely important. And it's time to get that water set up. Well, this is what my cousin Kirk brought me. It has a tote. And it's got an intake where you hook to the hose, and it's got a float that'll turn the water on and off. So it is an endless supply of water if you hook it to the house and leave the hose on. And then that's where the water's going to come out the bottom, and it's gravity fed. And I got some extra pipe, but it comes to these little cups. And then you can tip those cups and clean them. And so that's the best way. You can leave town, and your chickens will never run out of water with that system. So again, hook it to the house, run the hose out. And again, this is just I'm dry fitting everything, and I'm not tightening everything up right now, but there it is. That's the whole system. And that tote just gravity feeds down into the cups. And then there's a plug on the end, and it just fills the water up, and here you go. So I started filling the tub up, and I wanted to test this little valve to make sure it was functional. I did leave it outside last year, so I wanted to make sure everything was good with it. But it's filling the cups up, and everything's looking pretty good. And yep, there we go. So I want to show you how you can just dump these cups. So it's they've got a little sediment in them, and I don't know quite the height I want to put these necessarily. I think this is probably a good height because the birds can see into them. They didn't show a lot of interest in the cups right away, but they're not used to this type of a watering system, so it'll take a few days for them to figure it out probably. But there you see it's filling. So, yep, that's endless water, and so there's nothing better than that, I think. And so my thanks, Kirk, for bringing me this. But as I'm testing this out and checking it out, I start to see a little bit of an issue. And you see some water coming out of the bottom of that issue. I don't really notice it really up close until I got a little closer, but there's a better look at the chickens, the new ones, and especially that one with the white ears there. And they start pecking around the base of the underneath the water, and then I start seeing water running out from underneath it. In control, we have a problem here. We're gonna have to check that out and see what's up. But yeah, there's lots of water coming out of there, so that's not good. So anyway, I gotta go check this out and see what's up. But there's the system. And it should work once we get that leak fixed. But so there we go. I'm showing you the valve that does turn off when it's just a sensor, it looks like. So yeah, as I filled that up, and there's the crack in the bottom. So yeah, that tub is no good. So that's the new thing I need to buy is I just go buy a new tub with I'm going to get a lid, so I'll keep the water clean. But I went ahead and just drilled holes in a bucket just to test this thing out, make sure everything's functional. Make sure this water shuts off like it's supposed to, and it does. So again, that's not the way I would set up a big hole water, but yeah, that just shows it does turn off on its own, and the water does fill up into the cups, and yeah, it's a really nice little system, and I'm looking forward to having this all hooked up and have the peace of mind when I'm out of town, and that these chickens will be just fine. Again, I got lots of water systems here, and way over on the redundancy. In winter, I don't have redundancy. I've still got to figure that out. But in the summer, yeah, I got plenty. I'll be building another little chicken coop so I can introduce, and grow new birds. But until then, I'm just going to go with it this year. And if I get to building at the end of the year, we'll see. And maybe I'll be ready to raise some chicks or some pullets next year. But here's the 12-gallon water that I do have that they're used to. It's a nipple water on the bottom. And again, they just come up and they peck on those, and the water comes out. And they're used to that, and they're using it regularly. I got to clean that out, it looks like. I got some bugs in there. But yeah, the chickens are used to this. And right next to it was the first egg, and that's kind of an ugly egg. So this is starting to tell me that these chickens aren't that young. And there's my old water that I put inside the coop, and that's, I think, 6 gallons, I think. That's got a heated water base, so that's my only water for the winter. But here we go. I'm starting to get eggs again. And the ones on the right are store-bought, but these two white ones are from that one chicken I showed you with the white ears. I did pull some breakfast radishes, French breakfast, and I got some frozen onions, and I decided I was going to cook up some of these eggs. And there's a look at farm fresh eggs. It's been a while. Haven't had any. Scrambled them up with that onion and just a little bit of salt. And yeah, it turned out into a great meal with some of those radishes cut up. And that's what I've been missing. So that meal's all from the garden or from the coop. And right before I'm heading back to Salt Lake, looks like I got a double yolker from that white egg layer. So anyway, well, thanks for watching this video, and stay tuned for a lot more content here in the very near future. Thank you.